Here we are talking with Jim Matheos and John Arch from Arch Matheos. We're going song by song. This is track number 5, Any Given Day.
Yeah.
This is another, I guess it's the second longest on the record. And maybe, I mean, Stained Glass Sky is very heavy, but this one I think also is super heavy as well, going into that too. So obviously, again, we're talking about how it's fascinating to me that you wrote this song in the same order that it's on the CD, which is really interesting. So when you sat down to write this, was there any sense of, when you sit down to write any song, I guess, is there any sense of, okay, I'm going to write something really long because I feel that's going to come along, or you just start writing and it just kind of ends up where it ends up?
Mostly it's that. In the case, as I said, in the case of this record, the last couple songs, On the Fence, Any Given Day, I kind of looked at the whole record and was asking myself what it needed, so I kind of went in that direction. Usually it's the other way, that the song just kind of writes itself and it goes in a certain direction. But this one I specifically had in mind what I thought I wanted to do with it. This was supposed to be the last song. We didn't have Incense and Myrrh, which is the 6th song. This was going to be the end of the record, so I wanted something really powerful. It should be a long song, and it should have a lot of dynamics, and also probably some of the more progressive sections I think are in this song.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most progressive. And I mean, listen, this record is really, probably I think for you some of the heaviest stuff you've written in a long time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Was it a conscious thing to do, or that's just what you were inspired by when you were writing it?
Yeah, it just happened. I never know what's going to happen from album to album. It was just I kind of surprised myself on where some of this heavy stuff was coming.
You were just using the momentum. The things were rolling. And you saw, or I saw, both saw, the direction it was heading in. You're just using that momentum. And Any Given Day, I think, is just lyrically and musically a very powerful song.
And when you're writing the music and you're getting into this kind of vibe of writing it, does the fact that you're working with John change the way you write something? Like now you're 5 songs into this, it's going to be a full-length record. Do you think like, okay, I know John can do something on this sort of thing? Does that play any part into it?
Not really, no. I think the only thing when John and I work together is we're really, really aware of the fact that we want to impress each other in a good sense. I don't want to let him down. I don't want to present him with a crap idea. And he's the same way when he's writing vocals. He wants to impress me, and we know if we reach that bar where we're impressing each other, and then we're going to have something really cool. So that's in my mind, but not writing like a specific key or anything like that for him.
And for you, John, was there anything that he came up with that you said, I don't really like that part, or can you change this and that, or was it pretty much just
I think, if I can answer, I think On the Fence was one of those, actually. On the Fence, the first version of that, I think he was saying that was the hardest one for him. That had some sections in it that he just wasn't feeling, and I was really strong for. That's why I think I was saying, well, I can use this for something else if you don't want to do it. And then I kept coming back to it and thinking, well, if John doesn't like it, maybe there is something not happening with this. And I tried a couple other ideas, which became the middle section, which I love now.
Right, yeah. I forgot about that, but yeah, that was.
And lyrically on this song, it's another long one, so.
Lyrically, the meaning behind, or.
Yeah, what were you trying to? I mean, you don't have to give the initial meaning, but here you've got another long song,
right?
And you can give a little bit of. I mean, obviously, the title makes some sort of sense. Obviously,
the title does sum it up, but
it's more kind of your. Is it safe to say your kind of struggles with a lot of things?
Sure.
I
think so.
Which I think is anybody's struggles.
Mine and
really?
everyone. Yes, not everyone, but yeah, a lot of people. And the people who will understand will understand. And again, A Twist of Fate, I had a lot to say, and I guess I had more to get out of my system, so this was just another extension. And the lyrics started taking shape, and I just found a common theme going here. And using those colorful metaphors, and just the song, I think it was a sleeper. It surprised me when we were done with it, It started off one way, and it ended up I think just being a great song.
Yeah, I go back. I mean, I love every song on the record, and I go back and forth with the ones that I like, more than others, or start to listen to more. And I think as I listened to Stained Glass Sky so much because you were picking pieces apart for them, edited and stuff. And the more I listen to this song, I'm like, wow, this song is really, really good.
Cool. I think it's probably my favorite song.
Super heavy. So for today, it's probably my favorite.
Cool.
I'll regress to something else, I'm sure, later on. So this record lyrically and Twist of Fate too, I guess, are very personal. Mm-hmm. Was there, when you were coming back into doing this again, because the early Fates Warning stuff is obviously very mystical and magical,
yes,
and all these sort of stories. When you're coming back into it, what was the reason to have it be more personal? Was you just felt that was easier for you to write about, or it's cathartic, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. Maybe the mythological Dungeon and Dragon things has been done enough, and I think it's all inspired by emotions and the music, and to me it was just like a natural course. It was just something that I felt comfortable and passionate about singing, and the lyrics just took shape and form, and that was probably therapeutic for me, maybe. There's been a time in between Twist of Fate and now. There's been a lot of, like in everyone's lives, there's been a lot of life events that have happened, and we're all slowly learning that we think we know how to live, and we don't. And we don't know what things are obstacles that we're gonna come across, and sometimes we get blindsided. And a lot of this is about that. Can't go into all the sort of details, but I really believe that anybody that's alive with a pulse has got to be able to relate to this. And again, it's open for interpretations. There's a lot of things going on here, and some of it's obvious, some of it's not. We were talking about any given day, and another example of I didn't finish what I wanted to say, so Any Given Day was going to be the last song, and then we ended up with something that I was working on for years, but I could never finish. But Jim has some kind of musical vision. He was able to work with me on it, and we finished it. So hence the we did the middle section, and then Incense and Myrrh. And Incense and Myrrh was about, got to finish the second word for me, suicidal idealization.
It's actually ideation.
Ideation. Yeah. So again, the song had to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the end, it's open for interpretation. Did this person survive his demons or not?